Chào thầy, con là Hiền ở bên New Zealand ạ.
Hiền New Zealand. New Zealand vẫn ở bên đó situation ok không? New Zealand.
Dạ, bên con tốt thầy ạ.
Dạ con kính chào thầy ạ.
Good morning everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Today's sunrise is very beautiful from Lumini. This is a holy place. It's a very important place. I wish one day you should come here, meditation and stay a few days and to check the wonderful energy. And then after that, if you have the time and move to Himalaya. This is a very wonderful country. Okay, before starting the program, I would like to invite all of you 1 minute silent to pray for peace. Okay, thank you very much. Most welcome, all of you on the Zoom programs. This morning let us discuss about education. Education is a very, very important, very important. But we say education in general. But if we have the right education, I would like to mention one word more. Right education is a wonderful for the life. It's a wrong education. It's create many problems. But now generally they say education. So you see our society now upset, many turbulence also due to the wrong education. But we cannot say frankly, because if we say directly, friendly, and we had a problem. Even the scientific and many very famous, world famous scientists, they get wrong education. Therefore, they have a wrong conception. And that conception, wrong conception, they disturb. They create the problem. They create the war. As you say, the last century, there are few, what I say, wrong philosopher, theoreticians. And they say our ancestor, for example, now I don't want to say the name, maybe you can find out easily. We are the human being. It's originated from the monkey. And with the time, the monkey change, then become human being. In the theory, it's a logic, reasonable, but in reality, it's a wrong. Monkey is a monkey. Man is a man. Woman, man is man. And then how can they say the monkey? But unfortunately, many education institutions in the world follow that philosophy. Therefore, First and Second World War happened. When the monkey, they might change, so they can do anything. One of the product of that theory, you know well, Hitler. He killed million people, and another leader also. So even now, I feel very sorry, many countries still apply this philosophy, this theory, many things. So today, let us discuss what kind of education is good for our society. Now you see the COVID-19 is also the cause of wrong education. Frankly, to tell you, even many system, political system, 100 years, I admire, they cover many blanket, very beautiful title. And now the convict appear, then we discover so many bitter things. So we should be very careful. Now many titles. For example, now you go to the supermarket. Inside supermarket, did you find any product, any food? They pay, be careful. This is very dangerous. No. Every packet, very beautiful packet, beautiful title, very beautiful name, very beautiful propaganda, but it is a poisonous food. But approved by international law, local law, international law. Sometimes I feel very sorry. The many so-called civilized countries, they only talk peace, humanity, love, solidarity, but inside they make weapons. They convince the different particular poor country to buy it, and they give good credit. So the conflict comes. So today let us discuss and let us pray together. We should have and we should follow right education so that our society will be better. So I'm very happy to find today we have the Vice Chancellor, the Professor Hetria Bhattacharya, Vice Chancellor Lumini Buddhist University. This is also the first time that one Buddhist university established in the place where Buddha was born. I think, and I hope, and I wish, and this education institution open new chapter for humanity, not only for Nepal, for humanity. So I would like to invite you to share some idea and slowly another one. And later on, I very much like we should invite different personality. They have the good heart, right view, to come to Lumini Buddhist University, and we sit together. We should find out right education. Thank you. Professor Bhattacharya, please. I think many Vice Chancellor, you are number 4. Yeah, but you are the first one. It's very close with me. And all the Vice Chancellor, I just say hello. But you, I believe, I trust. Please, you try to do some significant thing for humanity. Thank you, please.
Yeah. Namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah, I will put on this camera briefly.
Yes.
I'm outside my quarter.
Yes.
This is sunrise.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how to enjoy the nature. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, these are all the trees compound.
Yeah, beautiful. This morning I also
Yeah.
see sunrise, very beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is our side is the international conference hall that is coming out, the white dome. The far side. Yeah, I will put camera because the light is. Okay.
You also belong to Sakya family, so please concentrate and open new chapter for humanity. Like what we have done in the past, we could bring the peace to Nepal.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lam. Well, this university was started by the World Buddhist Summit in 1998. It was convened in Lumbini. The World Buddhist Summit was convened in Lumbini. And World Buddhist Summit, they came with resolution that there is a need for establishing a university in Lumbini so that all scholars who are interested to study teachings, philosophy, and the other literature, art, history, archaeology that come with Buddhism could be studied by all the scholars all over the world who come and visit Lumbini, who wish to visit Lumbini. And that was the spirit which was by the government. And so the university was put up. Very quickly, let's say quickly, because in 2004, there was another World Buddhist Summit held in Nepal, in Kathmandu, but that was in Kathmandu. But remembering the resolution of the first World Buddhist Summit, the government, before the second World Buddhist Summit, put up this university by declaring that the university charter that time. So nonetheless, I mean, the main objective, main goal, this university is to provide platform for scholars all over the world who wish to study Buddhism, who wish to study its philosophy, and take Buddha's teachings to people all over the, spread Buddha's teachings to people all over the world. Now, a big question for us when we ponder in developing our strategy and program was what would be the best education to start from this university? What would be the activities, academic activities to start from this university? Normally, as we mentioned, there is a world trend to understand what constitutes higher education. And normally, the first thing to do is to assemble, to collect scholars, and to invite students and start programming. That's what this university also did. But going through the traditional understanding as well as traditional mode of running program, the scholars and students, they happen to come from the same perception and thinking that any other universities usually express. And in course of time, what happened is we started the curriculum implementation. We started teaching learning, but all teaching learning and curriculum, they happen to be like in other universities. So we have a classroom, we have a teacher come to classroom, give lecture, student take note, and then examination, and then take certificate. Yeah. So that has been for some time since its establishment. When I joined this university, I thought maybe we should rethink the way we are running. However, we cannot avoid what has already taken place. We have to accept the reality. So we are, in a way, continuing the traditional classes. But at the same time, now we are thinking to open new avenue so that we'll be doing truly following the way Buddha made people realize. Still we are struggling. What is the best way to connect Buddha's teaching, Buddha's philosophy, with the reality of day? Having said that, one big question is, when we are preparing people through traditional way and traditional perception that we are following in higher education in Nepal as well as in other parts of the world, we often tend to produce people to fit into this society. We tend to question, what are our graduates going to do after their graduation? What job they are going to take? So these are the questions that underlie the traditional education. But I personally feel and believe that Buddha was, at that time, a very revolutionary person. He wanted to question the way the world was moving ahead. Because his statement, his realization of the truth is, the world is always full of suffering. If you want to avoid suffering, then you have to know the cause. And once you know the cause, then you should stick the right path. So he gave the right paths. Follow the right path. Follow the right path of Buddha. Well, if that is the way we should align education, then we should teach. We should prepare our scholars to question everything they teach. Make sure that the teaching is really for supporting the students to realize what is really in need, what is really troubling. And then meditate, think, concentrate, find out ways, and live by the way to get out from the trouble for oneself and also for the society. But this will, I think, demand a different pedagogy. This traditional pedagogy is there, but Buddha taught a different pedagogy. And that part is really a challenging part. We are trying to, particularly, I'm trying to see what would be relevant in today's world to move that way. It is still very difficult because recently, Lumini Buddhist University, we launched a program in 3 areas: agroforestry, development studies, and environmental studies. Agroforestry we started following Buddha's teachings that we should have samyak ajiva, right living, right livelihood. This is one of the eightfold path, Astangik Marga. So what is right living for humanity? It is to be industrious, engage in agriculture in Nepal, because Nepal is still agricultural country. 70% of people still in agriculture. So what type of agriculture would be best for our people? And forest is our life. In Nepal, we still have about 45%, 46% of land covered by forest. And if we remove this forest, Nepal will not be Nepal. Because if you look at our topography, it is mostly hills, mountains, a very small plain land in Thay. But all of these are covered by forest. And even in Buddha's time, mostly covered by forest. Buddha was born in Lumbini, which was a forest, but it is tended by people that time. Lovely forest. It is called Upavana. A forest which is managed for people to stroll, take a walk. That's a beautiful forest. So forest and agriculture is kind of life for Nepal. And so we should prepare people for that way. But we have not got many students in that program. Only 5 students applied. In development studies, the idea was to bring Buddhist concept of Sangha. Sangha is association of people who believe on Buddha's philosophy, who live by Buddha's teachings, Dhamma, coming together of people in association and working for good of all people in Sangha as well as for the world. That is the concept of Sangha. Triple gem, Buddha Dharma Sangha. Development studies we have designed on this concept of Sangha. We didn't get any student in this development studies. And in environment studies, we wanted to create environment, pristine environment in Lumbini, so that people can, whoever visit Lumbini can have a feel of what it was during the time of Buddha, the environment. So that was the idea. But then we didn't get any student in environment studies because people are very much concerned what job I can get after my graduation. And of course, these 3 areas, we still have not much of the job to offer in that area in the job market. And we are trying to pursue the government that this is something new endeavor to start. I'm confident that we can create job which are related to our education program, and that will be very useful for Nepal in long run. And that will be very gainful also, because that will be a kind of model of sustainable development where you have forests, where you have agriculture, and the lifestyle which depend on this agriculture and the forest in a beautiful way, in the way Buddha taught to be in the middle, not on the extreme, middle part. And people, whoever really, truly engage in this stuff, education, they will be happy. They can spread happiness. But these are still a kind of concept where we need people who can really engage with this concept as a student, as scholars. We have a lot of research to undertake from that perspective. Now I'm taking that as challenge. Why people are still reluctant, what it will take to remove that reluctance and join our program. These are the type of program we are trying to run. But as I said, to begin with, it is really, really very challenging. I reflected on myself, what I would have done to my son or daughter, what I would have advised them in terms of my program. Yes, it will take a big guts. You will need a guts to really go into this kind of concept. And that happened in Buddha's time also. It takes guts to be disciple of Buddha. But Buddha is great because whoever came in contact with Buddha, whoever came in association with his teachings, they believed, they practiced, and they became followers of Buddha. But still, there is challenge in this world because if you reflect on, if you analyze what Buddha taught, none of his teachings has gone against science. None of his teachings has gone against the modern understanding. All the more, it always remains shining as a light, a source of light for even the science and the other modern understanding to really look for new avenues, new ways for new solution of the human being today. Well, these are still challenging challenges for me with my limited capacity to think and capacity to conceive. So I open for all and invite all to join with me in reflecting and in finding solution, in getting ways for new scholars, for scholars and the students to stride in transforming the world so that we all can be in peace, we all can be in harmony, and we all can be prosperous in this world, on this earth. Because we have seen in history, and I remember my society that time, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, well, it was more beautiful. I don't find the development that has come to Nepal better than what I used to have that time. That time, my society was more in the line of Buddha's teachings. I belong to a Sangha. I belong to a monastery. And the monastery and the society that interacted, well, I was not rich. We have more money now than that time. But then I was sustained by society. I was sustained by the economy that time. So this is the big, big question for us to reflect on the development trend and really reflect on what we ought to do, what we ought to gain, what we ought to teach, what we ought to research in transforming our society. So I will stop here, inviting all our scholars, our friends from all over the world, ponder on this aspect and be associated with Lumbini University be part of university, grow this university, move ahead in two Buddha's teaching line. Bhavatu Sabba Mangalam, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Ratnatrayaya. Thank you very much for giving me this platform. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you very much, Professor Bhattacharya, Vice Chancellor, Lumini University. Your expression is very nice. So please carry on and realize well your vocational, historical duty. Therefore, you see, even busy, I tried to bring the Bodhi tree to plant at your university last time.
Oh, thank you. I forgot to thank you very much for that. It's very nice. And also this guava tree.
Yeah. So this
tree is really coming up.
Yeah, this here also history. That's the Bodhi tree from Bodh Gaya where Buddha got enlightenment. So I wish you realize that university like Nalanda or Vikramshila University. This is historical. Now in the world, many thousand university. They produce so many scholars. Then what happened? I'm very agree with you. About 10, 15 years ago, Nepal, it's a very wonderful, isn't it? Even poor, but their life is a very harmony. Now we have more money. Then what happened? So please carry on well. If I'm still alive, I will be very happy to be with you. But we have to have action. We have action. Then I think now like I told many times, Lumini is a diamond mine, not coal mine. So now please you create like a factory, create many diamond mine, diamond and gold. So you attract many political leaders come to stay few days in your university, and we cook good food, and we give them good suggestion. When they go back, they change their life and their country in the better way. That I conception. Please you apply the Lotus Sutra. That is very important. Now very complicated. Many truth we cannot say it. How certain university, the one of the famous in the world, they teach the student to lie. That, but I don't want to tell the name. Lie the stone, they pick up the stone on the road and they tell 20 brilliant students go outside to sell. Which one they sell more money and they get good marks. So that is the way of teaching lying, isn't it? But it's recognized by international community. I feel very sorry. So Professor Bhattacharya, let us hope and work together. And I have much confidence, and then you can do. I think after the COVID-19, let us try to invite all political leaders, especially Nepali ruling party and another politician come to Lumini. And you and I prepare good place for them, stay a few days, and let us cook food for them. Then we convince them, go good way. If your university produce right scholar and right leader, and then many thousand they come to study. And we don't talk much about religion. Because now when you talk about religion, many political leaders, they're very much afraid. But they interest power. They interest money. So let us make good diamond, good gold. Okay? We don't talk. that I contact many political leaders. When I meet them, I don't talk about religion. I talk about food. I talk about power. And now you have diamond. So please you try to make beautiful diamond, and then they come and pick up from your university, and they will come. Thank you very much, Bhattacharya. I wish you are historical Vice Chancellor. Life is very short. Please do something. I only chanting every I pray. Your university should be like Nalanda, Vikramshila. Very few. You see, like Platon or Aristotle in Europe, they try to do similar thing, but not successful. In our Asia, in India, they could do. You see, Nalanda or Vikramshila, this is not the university come to study. This is not come to study. They perfect the knowledge. So I wish Lumini University should be the scholar come to perfect the knowledge, not study, because now they study many things already. They follow the philosophy, theory, they very much interest now money and the theory of the monkey become a man. So thank you very much for joining us, and let us work. Let us work. We should not be the member of NATO. Yeah, you know NATO. NATO not no Atlantic. NATO no action, talking only. We have many conference only talking, at last nothing. So yeah, I'm very happy. You are the 4th Vice Chancellor. I feel very friend and very close, and you have many. You have many good heart, good idea, good volume. So I know also many difficulty, but let us. I don't have money, but I have the idea. Let us sometime together we convene. If Nepal, like I told many times, political leaders, Nepal, we are poor country, but we have diamond mine. We are landlocked country, but we have diamond mine. First, Mount Everest, Himalayan, one of the highest mountain on the planet. But now you see Mount Everest polluted. The second wonderful thing is the Lumini, where Buddha was born. You imagine if where Buddha was born, if we have the good plane and good university, million people come here, how much benefit we get. And you imagine later there are many scholars, wonderful scholar, wonderful leader come from Lumini University. It's wonderful. So I consider Lumini is a diamond mine. So let us hope, let us work together. You listen, you see now Sadhus Grand, they chanting. Yes. This is a good sign after your talking. Thank you very much. Now I would like to,
Games also come near my quarter.
Yeah. Let us, regarding to your idea, let us, you see, to motivate people to protect and to plant the forest and promote the agriculture. The best one. We don't utilize chemical. If you like, in my monastery, I also have that program. Let's together. And your position, try to convene with the forest ministry to allow us to plant more tree in Nepal. You see now 45% covered by forest, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, but now they're cutting more. Yeah, it's very important. So if we increase and we can get
forest has increased. Forest has increased in Nepal. It had gone down 30% some time ago. But the community forest is a kind of concept which was developed in Nepal, and it really developed very fast. So communities are their own forest protected by communities.
Yeah. And you say now, look, Lumini Development Trust, they have a lot of land, but they do not plant the tree. So please convince them if they allow. And our Vietnam temple and your university, we motivate together to plant the tree. I feel you see, I'm very surprised. So 30 years ago, I convinced the Lumini authority and the government should utilize 1,000 hectare land here to plant the tree, but not by interest. You see, like the tree, when I come to the land where we building Vietnam temple, I plant the sesame tree, only like the finger. Now they are very big, like 2 person plus. And 1,000 hectare land here, if we plant only the bamboo, 10 million bamboo tree bush, and after 5 years, how much benefit we get and how much oxygen we got. But nobody interested. So I think in your position, try to convince them. Okay, otherwise we convince another place, we plant the tree. And the university in the forest is beautiful, yeah. And with the animal, you know, jungle. So thank you very much. Your joining, and let us try together to do the best for humanity, environment, and education. So it seems to be there's a Pranyadip, the General Secretary from Bodh Gaya. Would you like to share some idea about education? Pranyadip? If not, Mirinan. Miran Chakma, you also teacher. Mirinan Chakma.
Namaste, Guruji.
Yeah.
My respected Dr. Lam, venerables, attending this morning talk about the role of education and they are participants in different parts of the world. This is not a kind of conventional seminar kind of thing. This is just a kind of talk, exchanging our ideas and views, as Guruji had mentioned. So I would like to share some of the views that has been reflected by the Vice Chancellor a while ago, as well as my respected Guruji, Dr. Lam's words, his vision, his idea to establish peace and harmony in this world. As the Honorable Vice Chancellor had mentioned about the middle part, about the right livelihood, about the development, establishing the harmonious way of living together in this planet. As I find, the true teaching of the Buddha clearly reveals the harmonious way of life. The major challenge of present day's educational institute everywhere in the world is to get a job rather than giving the moral teaching, or rather than developing a proper leadership. But in fact, the fundamental need of this century is transforming the world, changing the world with a proper leadership building. There are lots of information, to be frank, now accessible to anyone through internet domain. Now the whole lots of information of the present day world is within our palm, within the tip of our finger. Now whole lots of things to learn. There is too much of information in our hand. Sometimes all this information or knowledge is also confusing. But the world now needs not information. the world is in need of transformation. When we talk of transformation, there are many kinds of transformation. Internal transformation, external transformation, individual transformation, collective, societal, community transformation. We can see lots of changes in the world. Say, few decades ago, 30 years, as Guruji was mentioning, how he had found Nepal. It's not only Nepal, the whole world was totally different 30, 40 years back, when there was no internet, when there was no modern means of communication. Now, this information technology has transformed the world externally and also taking charge of transforming the world internally. Now we are learning more and more about artificial intelligence, AI. And that AI is actually taking deep root into our human understanding. Now we are much more dependent on machine rather than discovering our internal self. We are going deeper into machine dependable life. So now much more we need is not external change. Now we are in need of understanding our inner self. And that is the true way of learning of Buddha. We know Buddha from various sources, from studying, from Dhamma talk, etc. But all that kind of learning is only intellectual level exercise, only external kind of information input that we get either through study or through listening. But to transform ourselves internally, perhaps we also need to learn from the Sangha community, the true Buddhist community or the follower of the Buddha, the right path. The right paths, as we have been taught about the eightfold, noble eightfold path. I'm not going to elaborate anything into that. That's not my domain. But what we have learned from our Guruji is we need meditation as much as possible, at least morning and evening, to realize our inner self and reconnect our inner self with external world, to establish peace of mind, happiness within ourselves. Only then we will be able to provide some kind of help to bring peace of mind to others. Unless and until we don't know ourselves, how do we can expect to know others? We cannot expect to know others or relate our individual self with the external self. It's not only the material world, also our mental world, psychological world, living in balance, in harmony with others. Now, here again, on the particular point of our individual relation with the society, community, and to a larger scale with the state or government, and to a bigger scale with the intra-state or interstate relationship. All these kind of relationships are bind together in a very subtle way, like the cobweb. So all these linkages to understand at deeper level, where to start, whether it will start from the state, from the community, or from the individual. I believe the teaching of Buddha is from individual level, from our inner self. If we transform, if we can develop ourselves sufficiently with the teaching of Buddha, with the compassionate love, with the metta, automatically our inner force, our own learning will take the right path of transforming the society, connecting our inner self with the community. And then community will automatically impact the state, because the state itself is nothing if there is no community. So our community life is connected to state. If the state leader is transformed, then automatically the harmonious balance of the planet can be established. Now, the main source of conflict of this world is our lack of understanding of our individual self. So, with due respect to all the Gurujis and participants, venerables, and householders, whoever there, my earnest request to all of you is to somehow practicing meditation in the morning and in the evening within our own capacity. And we know this is not so easy. I myself, though, try my best to practice a little bit of Vipassana meditation, but I know how difficult it is as a householder. Lots of hectic program schedules keep us away morning to evening. Sometimes it's very difficult for us to make time or concentrate. But still, I think without understanding our inner self, there is no way to establish our peace in mind as an individual. Leave aside the community. Only at individual level. If we are not able to transform ourselves at individual level, we will never be able to make an impact at society level, community level. This is very fundamental. It begins with our own self. With these few words, I would like to conclude my this brief presentation over here. Again, going back with the words of Guruji, my respected Dr. Lal, about the children, as he mentioned. Yes, that is very, very, very important, because our habitual pattern starts at the very childhood. That is the formative age of our mind. If, as a parent, I myself is a householder, as a parent, we are able to train the minds of children in right direction, automatically many things take care of. So child rearing is one of the most important subjects of any parenthood. I know all the parents of this world wants their son or daughter to be a better human being, to be a good citizen, to be a respectful person, to be one of the best leaders of the world. But as a parent, we know how difficult it is. It is difficult because if we are not able to transform ourselves, we are not able to control our anger, we are not able to gain the right knowledge, right livelihood, right path. So how can we show our children all these things? So the transformation is to begin with ourselves, and then gradually, I think, the other things take care of. To be very frank, before joining Vipassana meditation long time back, about say 25 years back, I discovered myself. I was an agitated soul, very much agitated, deeply concerned about my livelihood, deeply concerned about my future, about my job, about my prospect, and about my children, what kind of life I'm giving to them. But when I have learned little bit of the technique, it has given me a little bit understanding to control my anger, to control my inner self. It's not that I am able to control myself all the time, but what I feel is I am able to control it a little bit better than before, a little bit better understanding than before about myself. And then gradually, at least, I am not that much angry with my children. So it has created a very good impact in my life. And that's why I would like to urge all the participants, at least take the right part of transforming our inner self, rather than depending or expecting ourselves with the external change that is beyond our control. We cannot wait for that. We cannot wait for the state to take care of us. We cannot depend on our external world, much more. It's on our internal world, which is within our capacity, to some extent, not always. So I would like to request to all of you to discover our inner self and follow the right path. One more words I would like to add regarding the right livelihood, as Vice Chancellor has pointed out. As a householder, it is very important for us to work hard and choose the right livelihood. Sometimes Buddhism is always misled or misunderstood, that it doesn't prescribe, making money. It doesn't prescribe for art and culture. It doesn't prescribe, it is anti-science. Some kind of feeling is there. But that is totally, totally wrong. Buddha has never forbidden the householder, to earn money or to go into commerce, trade, industry. Buddha said not to cheat others. He has forbidden only 5 kinds of trades, as we know. So trade, commerce, science, all these are not forbidden in Buddhism. In fact, there is no conflict between Buddhism and science. So a proper way or deeper way of understanding will definitely guide us in the right path. So with these few words, with due respect to all venerables and householders, I would like to conclude my words here. Thank you very much for giving me this platform, this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mirinan Chakma. It's wonderful, but in my opinion, and according to some history called even, some big work started by few people. Don't wait many people.
True.
Yeah, like I starting Lumini, I was alone. Yeah, and many people treat me like the crazy man. Now how Lumini developed. So this is a very important subject, but let's together, few people. Yeah, we should not wait. Huh?
Sure.
So the Vice Chancellor, I wish and I pray, I trust, then you open new chapter. Yeah, otherwise we lost a lot of time. Regarding to meditation, I would like to mention like this one. Now, the word meditation polluted. The people, they misuse meditation. If we want to practice good meditation, we must practice right meditation, right understanding. Yeah. Now many wrong meditation. You see, many master now they say medicine master, but when they look at them, their head not molly. They not no smiling, only crying, and they touch meditation. So whenever talk meditation, we should be very cool. We should distinguish right meditation and wrong meditation, like the drink. You see, now in the supermarket, many good drink. They say good drink, but if you buy it, you drink sometime, and your stomach is problem. So similar. Now it's a very interesting. Religion also now very complicated. So we should be very careful. Yeah. Politics also. Politics is a right politic. If the wrong politic is many problem. Yeah. So you see now, well, I don't want to say the name. Many politicians, they all say very good title, good program. But if we see clearly it's wrong. So the university education very important. And regarding to education, I also very much like to share with you this a little idea. Generally, the people, they think only school. That is the conception of many countries now. When they give the children, they just bring the children to school. But our old traditional, they thinking family education also very important. And you see, society change. When they have the children, they bring the student, they give to school. And when they're sick, they bring to the doctor. And they bring to the church. And then when they die, they bring to the funeral house and then burning and bury. You see, this is not the correct way. Yeah. So I very much agree. We have to purify ourselves. So education, according to me, should work together, family and school. And when we are sick, we try to cure first. If not successful, then we go to see the doctor. You see that is a wrong conception now. When sick, even headache or something, doctor. And even luckily, if we meet the right doctor, then okay. Otherwise, many problems come. Thank you very much. Now, anybody want to share the idea? Thầy Huyen? If you like to share the idea, I wish in the future this subject we should enlarge. Then we also pray the positive leaders join with us. Yeah, and slowly like the Lumini. I wish Lumini University you produce a positive scholar, right leader in own field, not only Buddhism. Politics, agriculture. Now I think like you mentioned about the environment, agriculture. Let's us together. Yeah. And later, your university, you should export the food product. And that also we have the benefits. Then we can develop university and organic farm. Yeah. Now you see, we civilized country, they have many problems about the food. They utilize so much chemical, many kind of sickness, and they establish and a very complicated hospital, very costly. I have some idea. Let's us pray and work together. You say Lumini? 30 years before I come here alone, and nobody believed Lumini like now. Now, one thing I also would like to tell you, there's two personalities, two Nepali I respect very much. Without them, Lumini not developed now. The firstly, Professor Surya Sakya. He was Vice Chancellor, 111 University, and then he also was the first, one of the very important vice chairman of Lumini Trust. And secondly, the Professor Ashram. They work very hard. They meet so many challenges, and now they pass away. So my idea, I would like to request the Vice Chancellor, Lumini University, please help me to gather their family, and we should make their statue and to put in Lumini. Yeah, this is, I think, the best moment. And this also good significant for the, and all the leaders should follow them. Good example. If you do the good thing, people respect and remember you. Yeah, that is one of my wish. Otherwise, you see past. Now the people come to Lumini, very few people, they remember Professor Surya and Professor Ashram. I never forget them. They work very hard. They meet so many challenges, many difficulties. But at last, I'm the first foreigner to get land. And now, not much developed, but I think it's okay. Lumini now, nobody there to disturb. But before, they disturb very much. Any question, please? You can put to the Vice Chancellor and Dr. Mirinan.
The master,
now, yeah.
The master, the most and professor and friends. I would like to share my idea. Especially today, I have invited to the special guest, one Vietnamese monk and one Indian monk. I think they are young monks with a lot of potential in terms of moral and Buddhist study. I think it is a very good topic that all the parents need to study, to apply in every family. In my opinion, the current education in Vietnam, as well as everywhere in the world, tends to be seriously degraded. I think the students no longer know how to listen to teacher and parents like before. The first is to learn moral discipline, then to learn words and the school, which is no longer the same as before. Students in school are mostly very free to follow their will. I am deeply saddened by the lack of the morality. That's why I want parents to be very attentive to their children. Education at school is important, but education at home is especially important. If parents only care about their work, and forget to teach their children, it is certain that children will never obey and honor their parents. Why? Because children always think that their parents only love money more than love and care for them. For example, in the United States, we have seen that happen very often for many families, especially the Vietnamese family. In my opinion, every day, parents should spend about 1 and 2 hours with their children, as they should eat together and should sit down to listen to their children, to know what they need from their parents. And every weekend and end of the month, parents should organize picnic trips for their children to go out with their parents to make a good impression in the minds of the children. When teaching the children, two parents must also be very gentle and loving with their children. Shouldn't be angry with their children with the heavy words. Let the child know that parents love their children very much. Parents must know how to care in the education of their children. For young children, especially the nature, they need a lot of help from their parents. I hear my master say in the near future in Atlantic, there will be university. It is the best news. We have heart. I think if there were a if there will be a university in the Lumbini, many students from many different countries would come here to study, including monk and nun. Now I have the one question I would like to ask the master. I think you have a lot of experience in teaching disciples and teaching the children at home and at school. I would like to ask the master what are most effective methods for the current education, especially Buddhist education for Buddhist school or monk students.
So,
yeah,
very simple. Go to the right education, right action, right thinking. Yeah,
yes,
very simple. Action, action, right action. Yeah,
yes,
not right, not talking.
Yeah,
we are the victim of talking, and we are talking. We are the victim of the propaganda. Now, very beautiful propaganda. You see now, we spend a lot of time struggling for democracy. Then what happened? No food, but only democracy. Yeah, democracy. People go parking outside everywhere. They disturb. This is very sorry. Huh? I'm telling you. So many political leaders, they are not happy when they meet me when I talk like that. I say you are a politician, but right politician. If wrong politic, in Vietnamese we call chánh trị. This is not chánh trị mean right politics.
Yes.
And we say tà trị mean wrong politics. But now many wrong politics. Yeah, they talk very sweet work, but they do not do the right work.
Yes.
So education is very important, golden key. So let us work together and pray. You see, like in the Buddhism, I very much like to meet the Buddhist leader and dare to say the truth. And then Buddhism can develop. Otherwise, the community, the Buddhism is going down. After 1 century, about 20 years. Yeah. The Buddhism is for people living. It's not for dead people. Yeah. And now you see, now many, I don't want to say the truth. This is also the problem. Yeah. And many Buddhist people, they do not know what is the Buddha teach. They only can see the monk when they die. So this is not the Buddhism. Buddhism, how to help people to live happy life and to better life. Yeah. Okay, now if you don't have question, thank you very much. And let us hope our little idea that should become the truth as soon as possible. Thank you very much for joining us. And next time, happy good luck to you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Master.
Thank you, Master.
And
see you next time.
Anybody.